Thank you for that amazing introduction. I'm not sure I'm worthy of those kudos, but I will take them anyway, and I will appreciate them. So my name is Karen Toth, and I am an A10 distributor with ACTIVZ Global. And as a matter of fact, I'm probably the very first U.S. distributor for this amazing company. That means I have been around for a long time. Well, you might be scratching your head going, well, how come I've never heard of Karen Toth? How come I've never seen this woman? Well, let me tell you, that's the topic we're going to talk about today, getting back into the game. So the first thing I want to ask you is, do you have your ACTIVZ activation kit? You know, we came out with a new one in January, and if you don't have it, you need to go immediately into your back office and order it after this conference call. Within that activation kit, there is an amazing new book called the ACTIVZ Success Guide. And this guide is what we're going to be using to get ourselves back into the game. So let's get started. So let me tell you a little bit about myself in this amazing company. So in December of 2017, I joined ACTIVZ, and in June of 2017, I met David Brown, and I was there when David and Ryan came together to create this amazing company. It launched in December of 2017 in Mexico, and I had to sit there and wait until it came to the US. I didn't really have any contacts internationally. So I waited, and I waited. I bugged the heck out of the corporate team, and I waited, and then bam, it opened in the US. And I was that girl. I was that girl that was ignorance on fire, and I just started to run. In my first 2 weeks, I personally sponsored 45 new distributors. My business was on fire, and I just couldn't wait until I became the very first A16, which, by the way, didn't happen, obviously. So what did happen? Well, all sorts of things. As I contacted more and more people, I turned out to be getting more no's than I got yeses. Then, everyday life came into effect, right? And all the unusual circumstances that come with it. And boom, I took that hit. And then, I just started letting the negative talk get into my head. Okay, you can't do this. Obviously, this isn't for you. Alright, it's time to move on. So, I became the ACTIVZ wallflower. I never quit, but I did sit down and just kept doing nothing. Yep, you heard me right. Nothing. How many of you have been out there and you've felt that same way? Me? Yep. And I can honestly say I've been doing it I've been doing nothing for several years. Now, I do want to tell you that it's been really amazing because as I sat here doing nothing, over those several years, people kept reaching out to me from ACTIVZ, just checking in on me, asking me how I was doing. They never gave up on me. And so you know what? It's now time for me and whoever else is sitting there doing nothing to get back into the game. Now, this talk is not just about getting back in the game for us old people or the ones that haven't done anything for a while. This is also for every one of you that is brand new. You are brand new and we are starting over. So let's do this together. All right. So if you have one, grab your ACTIVZ Success Guide and let's get started. Because today we're embarking on a journey of self-discovery, goal setting, and network building extravaganzas. This is going to be a great ride, which I hopefully will be equal amounts of fun and information. Now, let me just say, this success guide is packed with information, so we absolutely can't go through all of it today, but we are going to go through how to get started, steps 1 through 4. So, let's begin. So the first step you're going to do is we're going to define our why and develop our story. So today we're embarking on a journey of self-discovery, goal setting, and a network building extravaganza. Hopefully this ride today is going to be both fun and informative. And to get us started, you need to grab your success guide. It's going to be you, me, and this guide conquering the world today. So let's get started. Oh, before we get started, let me tell you, this guide is full of all sorts of great information. So much information that we can't go through it all today. But we are going to go through steps 1 through 4 that will get you to where you need to be to run with this amazing company. Also, we only have a short amount of time, and plus, you need to get out of here and start working your business. So, let's get started. Alright, so the first one we want to work on is, the very first thing you want to do is step 1. Define your why and develop your story. Now, what's your why? Well, let's face it, your why is, why are you doing this business? Okay? This business is pretty simple, but it definitely isn't easy. So why are you doing this business? What lights that fire in your belly? What makes your gears grinding every morning to get up and get your coffee and get going with the day of ACTIVZ? Well, that's what I want to know. And that's what you definitely need to know before you move forward. Because your why is the most important thing that's going to drive you in making sure that your business is successful. Now, as I said, you might need to grab your coffee and ponder some questions in order to discover what your why is. And that's okay. This is a journey to get you to where you need to be in order to be successful. So, if you sit down, get your pen and paper, and start writing out some questions and some answers. Now, if you need some help in where to find those, you just go to page 4 in your success guide, and it'll tell you how to think about why you are here. Now, it's time for you to tell your story. Not just any story, but your story and how you came to ACTIVZ Global. So just a moment ago, we talked about your why. You need to include that in your story. You need to tell us about how you got here. What was your journey? What's been your victories? What's been your epic fails? Okay, I don't think anyone has epic fails. They have learning experiences. But you need to include those too, because all of us have them, and all of us will identify with them. The main thing you need to include is your why. So take that why you just wrote and build on it and create a story that you can tell somebody that will get them interested in you. And as a byproduct, ACTIVZ in our product. So get your paper and pen, take a few moments, and write that down. Now, it may change, and you may have to change it several times, but that's okay. We want to hear you. And if you need some hints on where and how to decide what to put into your story, that's okay. All you need to do is go to page 5 and do your ACTIVZ success, and it'll help prompt you through it. There's some ticklers in there that might give you some imagination on your story. All right, step number 2, let's write some goals. So now, we are talking goals, baby. Really, really important goals. And what do I mean? Well, I mean, we're talking about SMART goals, right? S-M-A-R-T. SMART. Okay, maybe not Einstein level smart, but we're talking pretty cool. So let's define what those are. All right, so S is for specific goals. M is for measurable. A, attainable. R, realistic. And T, trackable. All 5 of those assets are needed in setting your goals for being successful in the ACTIVZ business. It's also important that these goals are activity activated and not results oriented. Because you can't control the results, but you can control your daily activity. And so if you can track something and you can track your activity, then you're more successful in seeing how you are growing in your ACTIVZ business. You need to include both short-term and long-term goals, and your short-term goals are going to be the things that you do on a daily basis. Every day you want to be consistent in doing whatever goals that you have set for your daily activity. Now, you also want to look at long-term goals. These are the major successes that you want to accomplish to achieve your A16 status in ACTIVZ. And all those goals are going to be determined by you and your why. They may be different and probably are going to be much different than my goals. But we do have a duplicatable system that we're going to talk about in just a minute that all of us can utilize to work our business. So if you want to set goals and you don't know how to get started, well, where am I going to tell you to go? Right here on page 6. Now, as you write your goals, I'm telling you, you be you. And you write down what you want to accomplish. And it might be related to your family or getting out of your job, but make sure it's specific and measurable and attainable and realistic and trackable. All right, number 3. You've heard it over and over again. You've used it in every single thing that you've probably done, from creating a party to creating your graduation list to working in other businesses, and that is create your database list, right? Who is important to you to invite to see the ACTIVZ business and share the ACTIVZ products, right? Well, of course, if you're like me, you're going to say everyone should be experiencing both the business and the products that we have. Well, yes, I'm going to agree with you. We need to hit everybody in the world, but that's not realistic when you're coming out of the gate and when you're getting started. So let's backtrack and put into a simpler term and easier way to do this. And how is that? Well, I like to call it a little game of who's who in your life. And what does that mean? Well, it means for you to be a detective on a mission and play the best networking game that you've ever played. And how do you do that? Well, let's start with the closest thing to you. Let's start with your contact lists, the groups that you go to, anything that you participate in, looking at your social media, and let's start making a list of maybe, 100 people that you feel like you could reach out to and talk to about ACTIVZ and ACTIVZ products, right? At first, most of us will go to our family, our friends, and our closest acquaintances, right? Some people don't feel comfortable doing that, and they'd rather go to business associates or new acquaintances, and that's fine too. Either one will work. You do you, boo. You do whatever is comfortable for you. But again, there is a duplicated system that we're going to talk about in a minute that will work for all avenues of creating your database list. And hey, don't forget about anyone else that you come in contact. I'm telling you to go with what you have in front of you right now. But every day you are probably meeting new people, and it could be from 1 to 20. Make sure you put them on your list, right? Because you just met them. And this might be something that you can introduce to them to create a new potential business game changer for both you and them, and you might have found your next BFF. Your next business forever friend. All right, so get that list together. And that list will continue to grow every day. And you should be continuing to connect with that list every day. And so you can find a way to build that list in the back of your success guide. There's some pages in there to help you with that. And then if you want to find some more resource for this topic, it's on page 7. All right, Last but not least, in our first 4 steps of this amazing journal is contact and invite. So drum roll, please. It's showtime, folks. It's time to take the why, your story, and connect them with your database and tell them how great it is that you are living an ACTIVZ life. Each day, you want to set a goal to talk to at least 10 to 15 people. And again, you want to focus on this activity, not the outcome. You want to invite 10 to 15 people to check out ACTIVZ, whether it's ACTIVZ products or ACTIVZ business. No matter if it's rain, sleet, snow, or whatever, you get your invitations out on a daily basis. Consistency, consistency, consistency is what you are going to stand on in order to be successful in your ACTIVZ business. Now, the first invite I know is going to be a little scary because, of course, you always think they're going to say no. But you know what? Every no brings you one step closer to a yes. So get out of that comfort zone and pick up the phone and make that one first invite. Now, you might want to make it to your mom or your brother or your sister, somebody that you know is going to be a safe call, and you can practice on them, right? They love you no matter what. So maybe that's the easiest way for you to start. But start. That's the key to this. And then I promise you, after every invite, it's going to get a little bit easier. You're going to know your market a little bit better. You're going to hone in on your storytelling. And you know what? You are going to be amazing. And not only amazing, but you are going to be the rock star, the next rock star in ACTIVZ. And I'm going to join you there because I myself am getting back into the game. So, last but not least, folks, I want to tell you, make sure you treat this business like a hot date. Okay, yeah, I said it, a hot date. And what does that mean? Well, that means you need a plan, you need to organize, and you need to show up with bells on. You need to be personable and professional. And don't worry, that comes with a lot of practice. We've all been through it. We've all gone through the starts and the stops. And it's time for you and I to get going. So I'm going to grab my calendar, which, guess what, is also in the success guide. And I'm going to start calling people, and I'm going to put those appointments on my calendar. And you and I are going to slay the world, the ACTIVZ world, like the bosses we are, right? We are the bosses. Oh, one more thing. Remember, ACTIVZ is just about the destination to be successful and to reach all of your goals and dreams. But it doesn't have to be boring. Make sure you have fun. Make sure you are a little crazy and enjoy the ride. It's an exhilarating journey. So, one more time, let's both go forth, reaching for our dreams, and let's make ACTIVZ history. I want to see you racing to the A16, the top of ACTIVZ Global. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this call, and I hope you learned some things, because I'm learning them every day. And I'm going to be joining you on this ACTIVZ adventure. Thank you.